Happy Lesbian Visibility Week. Happy Lesbian Visibility Day. From me, I'm Robin. I'm the CEO at Her. And from all of the Her team, there are some, frankly, just like hideous, overbearing, aggressive, offensive voices right now on the internet. The TERFs, and we're done with them. We are here to make it clear that lesbians exist of all different kinds and types. There is no one way to be a lesbian. Lesbians exist of all different kinds and types. There is no one way to be a lesbian. There is no one way to be a lesbian. Anyone who is trying to suggest or other you in your lesbian identity can get the out, especially if it's on Her. We are a platform for all lesbians, trans lesbian, non-binary lesbians. You are all part of our lesbian community. We are a platform for all lesbians. You are all part of our lesbian community. And there's no space for TERFs on Her. So with that, happy Lesbian Visibility Day.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and this is an extremely interesting story. So a woke dating app that was exclusively, I guess, for women seeking women has been infiltrated and destroyed by biological men. And the hilarity of it all is that the app itself is banning women who wish to date women if they have any problem whatsoever with biological men being treated exactly the same on the website. And if they even dare to say, well, I'm a woman, I prefer to date women, they will get banned. The woke nonsense is they're eating themselves. And this is just one of my favorite stories of the day. From Her to Him, the downfall of the LGBTQ, well, really lesbian dating app. Boasting 1.5 million users in 55 countries, Her is undeniably the largest and most recognizable dating app for women. While debatable now, it appears to have been created with the best intentions. The app's founder, Robin Exton, said that she first set out to design an app that wasn't just a female version of Grindr. Now, this is via redux.info. However, over the last few years, Her has become less of a platform for lesbians to mingle and more of a case study in the contagion of gender identity ideology and how it uniquely harms the lesbian community. Now, I suppose all these women will be called TERFs. Launched in 2015 under the premise of being female-run lesbian space, Her went through a subtle rebrand in 2018 in an effort to profit from the burgeoning trends of, quote, queerness and inclusivity, terms which had gained popularity from social justice bloggers of Tumblr and into mainstream discourse. Her, which had ostensibly been designed exclusively for female users, began to add more categories and identities so it could attract a base that included trans-identified individuals, particularly men. In their promotional materials, Her even began using the term waxman to be more inclusive of those who felt woman was an offensive term. Exton gave an interview at the time calling the queer community amazing and celebrating the fact that queerness was causing people to question, challenge, and think about their identity. But what started with a spark of inclusion turned into a wildfire compulsion. On Exton's app, there was a flood of men, biological men, who identified as lesbians who felt welcome to use Her as their mating grounds. All while lesbians and bi women who were only interested in dating females were not provided any option to filter out these men from their searches. It gets more hilarious. Over the short years following, Her began mutating into an entity that was openly hostile to lesbian users in an effort to signal its dedication to inclusivity. Without the ability to filter out men who could pick any identity they liked on the app, some female users took it upon themselves to signify that they were only interested in other women by adding it to their bio or including a photo with logos that signified, women interested only in women. These women found themselves quite literally forced off the app. Jen, a lesbian user on Twitter, told Redux was suspended for adding no trans women to her bio on Her because she was exclusively attracted to women. Jen joined Her in late 2021 looking for a female partner and assuming a lesbian dating app would be the place to go for such an endeavor. Finding a veritable smorgasbord of 5 o'clock shadows and head tilts, Jen attempted to ensure that she would only be contacted by other females. Quote, I wrote in my bio that I would not consider a biological man as a partner, nor a woman who was not a proud woman, as we would not be compatible. Shortly after, Jen was suspended. She wrote Her's customer service and asked why, and received a snarky response from an agent named Devin, berating her for using, quote, hateful language in her bio and asserting trans women are in fact women. Thanks for reaching out. Your account is suspended for phobic or disrespectful speech in the bio. Specifically, please only contact if you're born female and proud to be a woman. Absolutely no trans women or non-binary, please. Her is a welcoming place for queer people, including non-binary and trans folks. Trans women are women. Well, quite biologically, they are not, right? Jen was incredulous. Her banned me, a lesbian, for being a lesbian and not wanting to hook up with biological men. But Jen's experience is far from isolated. Another woman, a vocal women's rights advocate known by her moniker DJ Lippy, told Redux that she had been suspended from using Her after she uploaded a photograph to her profile featuring a sign that displayed the dictionary definition of a woman as adult human female. Many trans-identified males reject this definition of woman as it excludes them because they are not female. Quote, you can pick any gender identity you wish and exclude anyone you choose just as long as it isn't male, DJ Lippy remarked to Redux. It's like opening an all-you-can-eat vegan buffet but sneaking salami into all the dishes. When you complain, they kick you out and call you pork exclusionary radical vegan. Another lesbian women's rights campaigner, Aja, told Redux that she was suspended after adding that she was only interested in biological women to her profile, and she says she has been receiving regular messages from male users who identify as lesbians. I was messaged by lots of blokes who I ignored, so I added I'm only interested in biological women in my profile, added a picture that I was wearing an adult human female t-shirt. Not sure how long it took them to ban me, but they did. Academic and feminist author Holly Lawford Smith also had a similar experience using the app. In her bio, she wrote that she was only interested in matching with other women and was suspended as a result. When she reached out to customer service, they advised her that she had been reported for phobic behavior. I mean, is there any more misogynistic act? Like, biological men are flooding into this app, forcing themselves on women that are not interested in them. And when they don't date them, they get them banned. It's almost like they hate women. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't possibly know that. But it sure seems like it. It sure seems like there's some reason why this keeps happening. The customer service representative, Samantha, went on to inform Holly that it is against their community guidelines to list what you are not interested in matching with, and also compared a lesbian not wanting to mingle with men to a lesbian excluding masculine women. That's not the same thing. Speaking to Redux, Holly said everything about the app is designed to force gender ideology onto people using it. You can't choose a gender, or you can't choose a biological, gender, only gender identity. You're pushed towards entering pronouns. You can't filter out males. You're constantly having to swipe past men. She added, it's incredibly sad that an app designed to bring women who are into women have now been completely infiltrated by and completely sold out to men. Others have shared on social media similar experience about being banned from the app, stating, here's Megan, I got suspended for, quote, suspicious activity. When I emailed support, they claimed it was for transphobia. I had no males in my bio, so they're telling on themselves. Regardless, Her has a problem with normal men as well as trans identifying males on the app. We should be allowed to say no. Even as lesbian users continue to express their disappointment in the fact that the dating app appears to be forcing female users to match with males, Her has continuously doubled down. Last year, the app announced that it was taking a hardline stance on so-called TERFs, which made it easier for male users to report female users for rejecting them, essentially. The Her saga reached a fever pitch, however, over the past few days as it decided to celebrate Lesbian Visibility Week by explicitly going after and cyberbullying lesbian women who refuse to date trans-identified males on their official Twitter. In what can only be described as an unhinged tirade, Her social media manager used the company's Twitter to engage in targeted harassment against women. During their episode, they defended someone who hung around the playgrounds, we'll say, went after women, encouraged doxing, and made a strange comment about feeding gender-critical crabs to identified males. What? The social media rampage resulted in the company being temporarily suspended from Twitter. The incident began when Her quote tweeted DJ Lippy, a user who had previously been banned from their app, who had been remarking on, a trans-identified convicted creep who had taken the name of a feminist activist after he transitioned, despite the fact Her had not been mentioned in the original comment by DJ Lippy. The app's official social media page appeared to have sought out Her remarks about the individual and responded with an incoherent rant. What? This is so wild. So then after being suspended from Twitter for repeated instances of harassment, Her took to TikTok to inform people that they didn't care about the suspension and that no one was going to be disciplined for abusive tweets. Their account has since been reinstated on Twitter. I mean, this is so wild. And you should, read the rest of the article, of course, on Redux. But this is like the rebranding of the app it's just like biological men are just forcing themselves on these women. And if they don't date them, they get them banned. This is a clown world. Maybe I should be developing an app exclusively. I had exclusively games. That didn't work. But what about exclusively dames? Maybe that could work. Maybe a little rework there. Well, can't say I'm not surprised by all this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, and we'll talk to you again real soon.